Hello everybody and welcome back. Well, I had a request to do a video on how I made some of my paper embellishments with wallpaper scraps. So that's what I'm going to show you today. And we're going to do some clustering on here. Now this is going to be an envelope and I'm on my sewing machine. You can make them any size that you want them to be. Mine is about 7 3/4 by 5. And I cut this paper because I didn't have any coffee dyed paper. I just bought this paper here the way it is. And I cut it exactly the same size. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch on my sewing machine. And I apologize that you can't see exactly right there. That was the best I could do with that camera angle. So I'm going to stitch this, and what I'm doing a regular stitch, and I'm going to make it to the longest possible stitch, which on my machine is going to be 6. Okay, and there's my little leader. Get him out of the way. So I'm just stitching. Lots of times when I do this, I'll do a little bit of a regular stitch, and then I'll do some zigzag. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to do a little bit of zigzag here and there. Let's see. Let's make it long. We don't want too many holes or it'll make a perforation in our paper, and we don't necessarily want to perforate. Did you hear that? We don't want to perforate at this moment. Okay, now what I'm doing here is I'm taking the bottom of, say this is the top, I'm taking the bottom of this envelope and I'm just going to fold it up right there, which I probably should have already done that. And now I'm going to sew it down, which means I'll have to go back and sew this side down. So I should have folded it like that first. But that's okay. Okay, so here we are. We've got a cute little envelope. Let's fold the top flap over. And I always leave a little gap. You don't want to fold it all the way up to that because it's hard to get things out. So I always leave about an inch, 3/4 of an inch right there. Okay, so you've got room to reach in there and pull something out. Okay, now, I should have brought my bone folder over here to make this lay down. Now, what I want to do is we're going to stitch up a few things, and then we're going to embellish them with some fabric clusters. Okay, so here's what I'm doing. Do this one the right way. I'm going to sew across one end, and I'm still on the little zigzag, which is fine. Now, sewing across that one end is going to hold that together. Let's see. All right, so I'm going to flip my paper, and I tell you why. When I flip this up, see, now it has stitching there. But if I flip this up and sew it first, I wouldn't be able to get in there to add my stitching. So this is the way you're supposed to do it. Now we're going to start at this end and go all the way around. All right, so I'm starting at this corner down here. Go up to the top and turn and turn, and then we're going to sew this side down. There we go. All right, now just that quickly and that easily, we have 2 envelopes. So I'll let you see this one. See, so they don't have to be exact. They don't have to be precise. Now, in particular, someone asked me about this tag that I made. I'm going to show you what this tag is all about. The first thing I want to do, and you don't have to do this, but I'm just going to take corner rounders. I just kind of like my corners rounded. This tag can be any size you want it to be. Mine is about 5.5 by 2.5, maybe 2 3/4. All right, so I've got 2 pieces of wallpaper. I've got them together. You can glue them if you need to glue that to hold it together, but I'm just going to leave it as it is. All right, I'm going to go up under my presser foot, and I'm going to just start stitching it together. Okay, we're going to make this curve. We'll turn that a little, okay. Back up the other side. And across the top. And then back to where we started, which is about right here. Okay. Now, there's a lot of ways to do this, but I did it this way. I'm trying to make it easy. You could do it all in one step if you want to, but well, I guess that's the top. But I wanted to show you different steps so that you kind of could understand. Now, this is going to be the little pocket part. I don't like the way that cut. Let's try that again. This is going to be the little pocket that's going to attach right here to the side. So yeah, you can put that on ahead of time if you want to. And I just rounded the two edges here. So now I'm going to go back over here and I'm going to stitch this guy. I'm just going to go back to my regular long stitch for this. Okay, so now that is stitched on. So now we've got a little pocket. So see, we can put things in here. Boom, in that little, of course I won't put anything that big, okay? And then another layer, which like I said, you can do it all at one time if you want to, but let's go ahead and let's play with some layers. I've just got different fabrics and stuff here. I was looking for something blue to match that blue that's so pretty in there. So I just kind of take, and I want it right on top of this little pocket. So I take a piece of that. I'm looking at the other colors. There's a little bit of a green, some type of a green. It's not really that green, is it? Let's see what that is. Oh, let's have a little piece of that. So just, you know, little strips and snippets. Here's a good place for your snippets to come out. We all love our snippets. Here's a little piece of coffee dyed muslin. So I'm going to just kind of, so I've just kind of piled 3 little snippets on top of each other. Oh, sorry, I bumped the camera. Don't you hate it when people do that? All right, I'm going to go under with my presser foot, and I'm going to go back to my zigzag, and I'm just going to kind of go forward and backwards and cut. And I know you can't see that, but I'm going to show you what I did. Ta-da, that's all I did. So here you have a little tag. It's got a side pocket, and it's just got a little fabric cluster there. Very simple. You can use this side for journaling if you want to. All right, now for the envelope, you could add a fabric cluster here. You could add a fabric cluster here. Really, you can do anything you want to do. So let's go back with this pretty blue so that this set kind of matches. And I kind of liked the way that looked with it. Let's cut an odd shape this time. Let's go more of almost a triangle. It ain't a triangle, but something like that. And I'll tell you what, I'll just use the same 3 colors so that this matches. All right. So this is the front of my envelope. So I'm going to put my fabric clusters pieces right down the side edge. You don't have to sew them all the way, just enough to tack it down. All right, now I'm going under the machine and I'm going to tack that down and break the thread. Okay, now, so here's your little envelope. It's got this cute little cluster here, and I would put like a pearl in the center, maybe right here, you know, put something pretty in the center. Lots of times I'll stitch some lace across this edge here because it's just so pretty. So let's do that. Let me get my lace. Okay, so I've just got this lace here. Would make a great edging right there. So I'm just going to cut. Always cut just a wee bit more than you think you're going to need, just so you don't run short. And then I'm just going to go stitch that right down the edge of my envelope. And for that, I can use either stitch. It really doesn't matter. And lots of times I use black thread instead of white or cream. It's according to how you know, how vintage-y I want it to look. But I love the black thread, but I had cream in my machine today because I was working on something else. So I'm going to leave that there. So now you've got this cute little envelope with this little lacy edging. There's the pocket. It is stitched together. It's not going anywhere. And maybe put a little word here, or an old vintage photo, or a little flower that you've made. You can put anything you want to right there. Same thing with the other one. All right, now I also cut out some of these guys. This is just another piece of wallpaper. It's just another size. This is a totally different size. Okay, now for this one, I'm going to take, to get all those fibers out of the way, I'm going to take my corner rounder and I'm going to do 2 corners, and that's going to be the envelope flap. So the first thing we want to do is sew the bottom of the envelope. All right, so this one we're going to do it all at one time, just to show you, now that you understand how the layers work together. Okay, so we're going to do all of this at one time. So this is the pocket part of this envelope. Now this one's smaller, of course, and this is going to be the overlapping part. So that's the way it's gonna look, okay? But before I start stitching, I'm gonna get my things ready. I'm gonna have, oh, I like that. Isn't that beautiful? These are some sari silk pieces that just are so gorgeous. Now this is a piece of upholstery fabric, and this is another piece of that coffee dyed muslin. Okay, so for this one, decide where you want your fabric cluster. Do you want it on the lid? Do you want it on the back? Anywhere you want it. Let's put this one up here on the top just to be different. So we'll put that there. We'll put this little cluster. And see how this guy's kind of triangle? So I don't want to put this one triangle right on top of it, because that would be a little boring. Let's make it more interesting, okay? So I just kind of offset it a little. And then this little piece, let's just open him up a little bit. And we'll set him right in the middle. Now I'm going to slide this down so that when I stitch it, I'm going to catch that. And then I'm going to show you something else we're going to do. All right, so I'm back over here at the sewing machine. I'm stitching up the side, including the pocket part, okay? I'm going across the top. And again, I apologize. I know you can't see that because I can't get my camera in there. I can't get it down. I need another hand, another cameraman hand. Okay, now before we finish sewing this one up, let's add one more element to it. And I need, don't want to use fabric shears. No, 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 just paper. Let's add a cute little matching corner tuck on the front of this envelope. And it's all going to be stitched up at one time. So I'm putting this little corner on the front of the envelope. Hang on just a second and I will show you what that looks like, because I know that you can't see it and that's no fun, is it? All right, let's stitch up this bottom and cut. All right, now, so here this guy was done all in one step. All right, so we have a cute little envelope. There's the flap that folds down. Here's our fabric cluster. And then on the front of the envelope, we've got a little corner pocket. So we can tuck something in there, just a little corner tuck. All right, so I would take maybe, I don't know, let's say this guy right here, because, you know, we're using all the coordinating pieces, and maybe just make a cute little tag. And again, let's round that corner just to make it fun. And let's take a piece of this pretty blue. I like this one. Oh, that's so pretty. Let's just take a snippet of it, a smidge here. All right. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of bunch this up at the bottom. This is going to be a tag pull, and I want to attach it to my little tag. So I'm going to kind of just put that face down. I'm going to stitch over that top. You could stitch around the whole tag if you want to, but you don't have to. And now I've got a little miniature tag with a little tag pull. So he can live right there. See, he's happy there. So there is another idea. All right, now, so here's what we've got so far. We've got this envelope, we've got this envelope, and we've got this little pocket, and we've got this envelope. We didn't give it any fabric cluster, and I want all of this to match. So let's add a fabric cluster. Where shall we put this one? We've got one on the front. We've got one there. Why don't we put this one? Let's put it down here, just for fun, just for laughs and giggles. Let's see, where is that pretty? Or do I want to use a different one? I kind of wanted them all to match. There it is right there. I got a bundle of stuff. A bundle of stuff over there. This has got the little selvage here, which is fine, but I'm just going to cut it off just because. And I'm going to kind of aim that over to the side a little bit. And I'm going to take one more piece of that coffee dyed muslin. Guys, I dyed this fabric with coffee, and to get rid of the coffee smell, I put some almond extract in there, and this fabric smells wonderful. Some people don't like the coffee smell. Now, I do. I love coffee. Love the coffee smell. But so now you've still got your pocket here, but bear in mind that where I stitched, that's going to be the end of the pocket. So you can't put anything any further than that in there, but that's okay. It's different. All right. So I like it, but I think I am going to take some of the lace, and let's do like we did the other one. Let's add some lace across here, right here. And maybe next time, I got my husband to help me one time. He held the camera when I was doing a sewing tutorial, because it's just impossible to get the camera angle down here where I need it to be, and at the same time come back to here, you know, without shaking it all over the place. That one came out a little bit short, but okay. So this one has lace on the top too. All right, so looks like we've got a little set going here, which is what I wanted to do. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and I'm going to finish embellishing these, and I'm going to come back and show it to you. Okay, so let's look at what we've got here. I've got them all finished, and I'm going to show you each one and show you what I did to them. So this one, I just added a button in the middle of that cluster. I put this little piece of ephemera here, and inside I just put a little flip-up booklet to write on. Okay, so that one goes there. This is our little corner tag. Oh, and I still didn't stick anything in there. All right, something bigger than that. But I just put a little piece of ephemera, that little horseshoe, and a button there. And I also put lace down that side. And I just left all those threads because they're cute that way. Okay, this one I put a pearl in the middle. I put a little piece of paper in the back inside the envelope, and I put this is actually a paper button, and I glued something on it, but that's going to act as a closure for this envelope. So see, that button will hold that envelope closed. All right, here is another envelope. I just added some goodies on it, put a little button and a little paper flower, some paper inside, and then I've got two tags here that I made. I may have to put a little glue under that. The two tags. So let's take this guy. This was the one I had intended to go under there because of the contrast. See, now you can actually see what it does because there's enough contrast there. So we'll say that one lives there. This one is just an extra. So there are 1, 2, 3 envelopes, a tag within a tag, and another tag. And you can find all of this in my Etsy shop if you're interested in purchasing. If you do create something like this, hit me up and show me. Tag me. I want to see what you make. I have a Facebook page called Gulf Coast Creative Corner, and you can find me there, and I'm also on Instagram. So anyway, guys, I'll have all the links below. Thanks for watching. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.